September 1992. All right, before we get into this, a little behind the scenes. Normally, I record all these things on Saturday. I know I've mentioned that before in other videos, but I'm doing this on Tuesday evening, and this is going to post tomorrow because Saturday I was at my nephew and niece-in-law's, hanging out, playing board games, and then Sunday I was sick as hell. I don't know what the hell was wrong with me, but it was not good. I spent the entire day in bed. Um, and then yesterday I was still recovering. I was well enough to go to work, but didn't feel like doing anything once I got home from work. So now here we are. It's Tuesday, and I'm recording something I should have done days ago. And this isn't just going to be September. I'm going to include October because I only have one book in October. But let's start with September. The first book that I read, September 1982, was Whipping Boy by John Byrne. I know that it's from Dell Publishing, and I believe it was part of their Abyss line, which was more cerebral horror, for lack of a better way to put it. More experimental, maybe. I think. I don't know. Ask somebody who knows better than I do, apparently. But they published things like Brian Hodge and Kathy Koja. I believe Poppy Z. Bright had one or two in the Abyss line. It was a different type of horror at the time, and I believe this was one. But anyway, Whipping Boy, you have a priest and this female reporter, and they're looking into, this whipping boy, who in the description, or maybe it was one of the reviews I just looked at, I think they call him a freak. I don't remember if he's in, I feel like he was in like a revival show, a tent revival show. But basically, this is this child who can just take somebody's guilt, takes it away completely. And so it's been so long since I read it. I feel like either it left people completely guilt-free with the inability to feel guilt anymore, and so it just releases all their inhibitions. People are going crazy. Or possibly when he takes the guilt away, it leaves like something evil in its place. I don't recall. This is a book I really, really wish I had. As far as I know, John Byrne only wrote 2 novels, Fear Book, Whipping Boy. Read them both. Wish I still had them. Maybe someday. But I thought it was good. It's a good book. I actually liked this one a little better than Fear Book. And I like the concept of the whole, taking away people's guilt. Kind of like a sin eater, I guess. I was trying to think of that term while I was rambling earlier. Taking away people's guilt and then leaving them, again, either with this evil inside or just, if you can't feel guilt, does that make you a sociopath? I don't know. Let's read the book and find out. Next up, all right, well, we're getting into the weeds. Some troubling areas, things that I would not read today. Second book is Fatherhood by Bill Cosby. And this is just, comedy essays and stuff. I don't know if it's just like essays that he wrote in different places that were collected in the book, or if it's part of his stand-up routine. It's been so long, don't remember, but yeah, would not be reading Bill Cosby today. Third book in September 1992, Hype and Glory by William Goldman. William Goldman, amazing author. Of course, wrote The Princess Bride, Marathon Man, Magic, and some great nonfiction stuff. This is one of his nonfiction books. And in a single year, and according to the copy on the cover of the book, at least at the time of its publication, he's the only person who, in a single year, was a judge at both the Cannes Film Festival. Everybody seems to pronounce it differently. I don't know what the correct pronunciation is. But anyway, he was a judge at the Cannes Film Festival and a judge at the Miss America pageant. And so he just writes about that experience, being a judge at these two different things, in his usual wonderful style. William Goldman's such a great, great writer. Back into the weeds, because the next book was Childhood by Bill Cosby. Basically take everything I just said about fatherhood and apply it to this. I mean, the stuff was funny, but again, not someone I'm going to support nowadays. Excuse me. And then finally, the last book I read, just book number 5 in September 1992, is New Improved Murder by Edward Gorman. And this is a Jack Dwyer mystery. And Jack comes to the aid of an ex-girlfriend who is found in a state of shock holding a recently fired weapon standing over the body of her current, well, now dead, boyfriend, who's an advertising executive or something, because that's what Ed Gorman did, so a lot of his stuff revolves in the advertising world. Good stuff. I mean, Ed Gorman, great writer. His westerns are fantastic. His mysteries are fantastic. Good stuff. All right, so that was it for September 1992. Now, the one book that I read in October of 1992 was Sunglasses After Dark by Nancy A. Collins. I think this is the first book that I read by her. She is one of those authors that I discovered because of comic books. She was writing Swamp Thing, the Vertigo Swamp Thing series. And I was reading all the Vertigo titles at the time. If there's anybody who doesn't know, Vertigo was an imprint of DC Comics, and it was their mature titles. Sandman, Swamp Thing, Shade the Changing Man, Doom Patrol. I feel like there's one that I always forget. And then there were things like Animal Man and maybe Constantine at this time, Hellblazer, excuse me. Eeh. Yeah, maybe Hellblazer was the other inaugural Vertigo title. So Nancy Collins was writing that Swamp Thing. I have the omnibus for it, and it was a fantastic run, I think. And since she was an author of books, I decided to check them out. Sunglasses After Dark is the first book in the Sonia Blue series. Sonia Blue is a vampire. Excuse me. And in this book, this kid named Skinner befriends these 3 members of a metal band named, so you have to look at my notes, Rend, Sunder, and Ripper. And they're werewolves. And I'm guessing, again, I don't remember the details because it's been so long, I'm guessing he gets into trouble and Sonia Blue saves him. Little trivia. Nancy A. Collins, I believe, this is what I've heard, Nancy A. Collins sued the makers of the Underworld film franchise, saying that essentially they were ripping off the Sonia Blue stuff. I assume there's animosity between vampires and werewolves in the Sonia Blue books. It's been so long since I've read them. Obviously, 1992. But great stuff. Really, really like Nancy Collins' writing and the Sonia Blue series. I was looking at one of the reviews to see if there was a little more information as far as the plot goes, and they were talking about the wimpy, essentially the wimpy New Orleans vampires, and this is the antidote if you're tired of Lestat, and not that they're New Orleans vampires, but Edward Cullen and those types of characters. Read Sonia Blue. She's just a kick-ass vampire lady who's not whiny and mopey, but she's a well-written, interesting, badass character. And this was the first book in the series, Sunglasses After Dark. I recommend it. So there you go. That's it. That's 5 books in September of 1992. 1 book in October of 1992. I just made the decision to put these 2 months together because it just didn't seem like, at least for this 1 book for 1 month for one video, was worth it for my time or yours. And I can tell you right now, I looked ahead to 93, and for some reason, there are a couple of months in a row where there's just 1 book. So I will probably, and then like the following month there's 4, so I might put 3 months together. We'll see. We'll see when the time comes. But anyway, there you go. That's it. September, October 1992. Question. Okay, here we go. Question of the video. Let me toss that aside. Let me take this and toss that aside. Okay, so Bill Cosby. We're not going to get into specifics. If you want to share your thoughts on Bill Cosby, feel free. But obviously, I read his books back in 92. I believe there were some even before that. Knowing now what we know, I've clearly said I would not read them now. What are your feelings about that sort of thing? I guess this is a sort of separate the art from the artist kind of argument. And typically, I feel like this has come up before. Typically, let's say H.P. Lovecraft comes up a lot. Very racist dude, but he's dead. When I buy something H.P. Lovecraft, he's not making any money off of it. I'm not supporting that guy. If he were still alive, I wouldn't buy it. But he's dead, long time dead, so I have no problem with it. But Bill Cosby, still alive. I assume still making royalties off of book sales and stuff. So I'm not going to support him. The Warrens, Ed and Lorraine Warren. I waited. I really wanted to read the books that they wrote, especially the Ray Garton one, the one that he actually wrote. But I didn't want to support them, so I waited until they were both dead before I bought any of the books. Of course, you can get around that by buying used. And I guess the other thing is go to the library. But, I mean, the library's paid for the book. And I don't know if a lot of people are taking out of the library. Do they buy new copies? I don't know the details of how libraries work as far as that goes. But what are your thoughts? Do you separate the art from the artist? I can admit that something is a piece of art, whether it's actual, a picture, a movie, a book. I can say, yeah, that is a well-made, amazing story, a beautiful piece of artwork. But the person who made it is a scumbag, and so I'm not going to support them. So I can make that separation that way, but I'm also, if they're a scumbag, I'm not going to support them financially in any way, and I'm not going to promote their work. So, again, even if I, let's say, got the Bill Cosby book tomorrow from the library, so I didn't support him financially, and I read it, and I thought it was hilarious, I'm not going to review it and tell people to go out and buy it and read it, because that's supporting him, essentially. Does any of this make sense? What are your feelings on this? I don't know. Do you separate the art from the artist? Do you support well-made art, even if it's made by a scumbag? Let me know. Let's talk about it down in the comments. Which is, some people say they just stay off social media. They try and stay away. They don't want to know anything about the people they like because it might give them a reason not to like them. And I'd as much as it would pain me to find out, say, an author that I absolutely love and I have all their books and everything. It would pain me to find out that they were scum. I would have to stop supporting them. And here's another question. Let me see. I don't want to pick anybody because I don't want to start any rumors. So author X, I'm a huge fan of author X. I have all of their books, and then I find out they're a pedophile. Obviously, I'm going to stop supporting them immediately. What do I do with the books I already have? They've already gotten my money from those sales. Those books have been on my shelf. Do I keep them? It's not really going to make a difference to that person if I get rid of the books. Plus, maybe I shouldn't have gone pedophile, because that's really, really bad. Just say racist. Again, really bad, but not necessarily as bad as a pedophile. I found out they're racist. Getting rid of the books is just putting them in the hands of other people, which you could say, hey, not my problem. But I don't know. What do you do? You've chosen not to support this person because you found out they're a horrible piece of shit. What do you do with what you already have? I can think of a comic book writer. One in particular pops into my mind. I'm not going to say who it is. Who I have stuff that they've done, and I love it. They're a fantastic writer, but they're problematic. There were accusations of things. So I'll no longer buy anything they put out now. Do I keep the stuff that I already have? Do I get rid of it? I'm not going to burn books, so that's off the table. What do I do with it? That's my question. What would you do? There we go. All right, this question of video kind of got away from me, but let me know what you think down in the comments. If you have any comments, questions, or corrections, please put them in the comments below. Comments are open for spoilers. Just post spoiler warning. We try to be polite here at my channel. I don't know what I'm doing today. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you'd care to follow me on other social media, my Twitter is @Ronin5757. My Instagram, where I post pictures of books, comic books, board games, and fuzzy animals, is excuse me, Eric Smith 5757. That's Eric with a K, ERIKSMITH 5757. I think that's all I've got for you this time. Man, my collar is just so loose and it's bugging me. I don't even know if people notice. Anyway, see, it just keeps shifting over. That's all I've got. Obviously, I'm a little slap happy or something. That's it for this time. So until next time, read more books.